I'm down here at Portland's historic Union Station. Hello from downtown Portland, Oregon, here at the famed Union Station terminal for trains from this part of the world. This was built in the 1890s during that same time period where Dr. East came out here to Portland. Dr. East, who wasn't called Dr. East at the time, he was just a 17-year-old kid, left home at the age of 17 in Sweden and came to America. He came to work as a blacksmith in Philadelphia, and then he went to Kansas City. In Kansas City, he was converted to Christ in 1896 at a Swedish Baptist church gathering there. And later, he was there working in Kansas City for the railroad. The railroad is what brought him out to Portland, where he is buried, where he ended up having his medical practice. So this was built when he returned home after going to medical school in Kentucky. And he came home to this when it was brand new. This now is an ancient landmark, so to speak, here in Portland. And it's still here, and I'm sure he went in and out of this train station many times. He attended Moody Bible School in addition to another seminary, and I found that there was a straight line from Portland to Chicago where Moody is located, so he may have left this very station at some point. But trains still run here. At the time of the heyday of this Union Pacific or Union Station, which Union Pacific Railroad worked out of, a train left this station every 11 minutes. And it was super busy. It was the main form of transportation. We're about ready to go over to the Morgan Building, which has also been restored to its early glory, built in the time of Dr. East as well. And we will get a visit a place that he had an office in. So join us at the Morgan Building, and we'll show you what it looks like, see how they've restored it. We haven't even seen it yet, but we're looking forward to checking it out. It's just right around the corner. And one of the things that we may do, I hope, is they have streetcars. And maybe we're gonna ride a streetcar up one of these cool hills in downtown Portland, and we'll do something that Dr. East, no doubt, absolutely did during his time when he was in Portland as well. I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when, 'cause I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on, but that train keeps rolling down to San Antonio. The Portland Express, or the train they called the City of Portland, used to ride out of here and ride straight to Chicago. All right, so we're down here near Washington Street, where we have the historic place of registry. Has this Morgan Building. It was built in 1913. So when Dr. East actually returned from work on the mission field, he ended up having an office in the building. We're gonna go. Now the truth is, there's been quite a cultural difference in the people we've met here in this area, and it's been a little difficult adjusting to that. But I will tell you something that I've discovered that's happened in Portland that's beautiful. You see that guy? He's pumping our gas. They pump your gas for you here in Portland. That might even be reason enough just to come here. I haven't had anyone pump my gas in years. And I would love it if people pump gas, and I'm loving it right now. How do you feel about this, Elizabeth? Come on, seriously. Have you ever had anyone pump gas for you?
No.
Jonathan, anyone ever pump gas for you other than family member?
Valiant sometimes pumps gas.
Right. So I like it. So it's been a long journey across the country to Portland, and we're finding our way here to the cemetery, Lincoln Memorial Cemetery, Lincoln Memorial Park, and looks looks like a lot of the gates are closed. They said one of the gates are open. We're going to be trying to find that one and find the grave, but it's in a beautiful setting, way up here on top of a beautiful mountain. It's a gorgeous day. Let's see if we can find his grave. So we finally made it to the grave of Erik and Emily East here in the Vista plot here at the Lincoln Memorial Cemetery here in the outskirts of Portland. I can see why it's called Vista. Some of the trees have grown up, these giant pine trees around, but you can look over and you can see the hills and the mountains and the big trees in every direction from up on top of this mountain here. With all the trees here, you can't really quite see it, but I'm sure they call it Vista because it overlooks this Portland area valley. So we're hoping to meet the family here in just a little bit, and we're going to interview them, talk to them, and come out here with them. Her story is amazing as well. The family really want to make sure her story gets told. So he writes a number of very interesting things about his wife and how having a wife on the mission field completely changes everything. And it's in those dynamic duos of the Christian faith that souls are changed, lives are invigorated by the gospel, and faith that comes by hearing the word of God in example and in life, as well as being preached, makes all the difference in the world.
Hey, ma'am. Pleasure to meet you. You too.
Tim, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
And
Yeah, but they were. He was an entrepreneur as well, and they were marketing this product. And the address of his office
is on
the back of that jar, and that's over in Kent.
255 East 55th Street. 255 East 55th Street.
Yeah, that was.
But is that a little Swedish accent? We don't know.
A little something.
Yeah.
Which is still there.
It's in Topeka.
In Topeka.
Yeah.
And it's a Swedish Baptist church
There
still?
was a Swedish Baptist
They
church.
not. They don't.
Yeah, it doesn't have Swedish in the name anymore.
They don't call them Swedish
But,
Baptist churches anymore. But the Temple.
Do you know where it is? So here we are in Portland at the place that was best known for Dr. East's office. You can see behind me a pretty junked out, broken building here. Joe Biden is number one here, of course. And this building, covered in graffiti, the address to the building is listed on a medicine bottle that Dr. East sold. It was called East and Sons Ointment. Has a picture of a pagoda on the front of it, and they used it to rub on your chest and help you if you had a cold or whatever. The family that we interviewed today was telling us they called it Dad's Ointment, and that even though Dr. East died before many of them were born, he loomed large in their household. They all had a sculpture silhouette of him that was in their homes. But this is the famed office where he made his ointment and sold his ointment, advertised his ointment. They said not only was he a doctor, but he was a bit of an entrepreneur too. So even though this place is obviously abandoned and not being used now, this was the home of this entrepreneur doctor who had returned from the mission field, and this is where he produced his ointment. We'll show you some bottles and labels of this ointment that the family used, and maybe we'll even get the secret recipe. But it's not about your dad or your grandfather. Yeah, it's about that time. Right. On the road again, like a band of gypsies going across the highway, going places that I've never been. I can't wait to get on the road again.